it's the same for successful people in all different areas. They have guidance for people that know things that they don't. My first ever mentor, he talked a lot about not being the smartest person in your room, or not being the smartest person in your team. Because if you're the smartest person in your team, then you're not going to learn. And how important it is to surround yourself with people who know more than you in certain areas. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. So today I was looking at what is in the sports news this week. A few different things going on. I was thinking a few different angles. 10-year anniversary of Philip Hughes dying on the cricket field. Might be something I dive into later, just around some of the ongoing impacts that I saw for some of the players. Also, in Australia, we've got one of our best ever golfers, definitely one of our best at the moment, if not the best, Cam Smith, back in Australia, playing a lot of the local tournaments, which is pretty good of him to, he's pretty keen to give back in that area, and he's pretty passionate about the Australian game. Really wants to win the Australian Open, which is pretty cool. Still has that care about his national golf, despite the fact that he's having a huge amount of success in other parts of the world. And one of the things when I was hearing him talk that really struck me was around the importance of a caddy. And it made me think of how a golf caddy is a lot like having a good coach, is that you're still in control of the shots you play. In other words, the decisions you make, the action that you take. But having someone there that allows you to externalize what you're thinking before you take your next step. Someone that gives you guidance, helps you with strategy, can maybe see some things that you can't see because they've been studying more of the detail than you have. And then also listen to him talk when he described how he went from having just a regular caddy to then finding a really good one, and the difference that made. He talked about hitting, the first time he had a proper professional caddy when he was about 20, he said he hit 18 greens. Now, you might think for a professional that's just something that should happen pretty regularly, but we know that if you've watched any golf, that doesn't happen, and if you've played it, you know even how hard that is. And for the non-golfers, hitting 18 greens is in like what the regulation score would be. So if it's a par 4, hitting it in 2, if it's a par 3, hitting it in 1, and so on. And so, he hit 18 greens with the guidance of the caddy. And he just realised how important it was to have that assistance, how important and valuable that was to help him to be at his absolute best. And what's really interesting is he's one of the best in the world, and yet he still has that same caddy. He still relies on that caddy. He knows it's a necessity to be his best. But it's also the same guy that took him from that young age of 20 all the way through to being, I'm not sure if he ever got to number 1, but he was definitely one of the best and playing the best, winning a major. So he knows the importance of having that guidance, and it's the same for successful people in all different areas. They have guidance for people that know things that they don't. My first ever mentor, he talked a lot about not being the smartest person in your room, or not being the smartest person in your team. Because if you're the smartest person in your team, then you're not going to learn. And how important it is to surround yourself with people who know more than you in certain areas. And that's something that's really stuck with me. So I've always had people now guiding me, particularly in areas that I'm not familiar. So the business side of coaching is definitely something that I've had a heap of assistance and still continue to get. I haven't had a background in business. I haven't had role models who have been in business that have been able to pass on information. So I've had to be on a really steep learning curve. And I'm not ashamed to say that I haven't been great at the business side of business. the admin, the detail, the finances, the operations, all of those different things. What I have done is surround myself with people that allows me to, most of the time, just turn up and talk, to turn up and coach, turn up, get in front of people where I know I add the most value. And that's also the importance of a team. So if you bring it back to golf, if you are someone that is not playing at your best all the time, but you know you have more talent, then, and you're at that professional level, you've got to have a caddy, not just a caddy, a good caddy. And that's probably why some of the golfers go through a number of caddies, because they're finding that person that connects with them, that gets them, that speaks the same language. Cam Smith also talked about how this caddy has become his best mate, or one of his best mates, and they spend time socially and because it was, they had a really good connection, and how important that's been. So it's about finding people that not just know what you need to know, but also that you feel like you're on the same page with, that you're speaking the same language, that when you're having conversations, that you know that they're going to understand you, they're going to get you, and that's really important. So just a quick one today, but something for you to just to have a think about in your life. Where are the gaps? What do you need to know? What are the areas that you're struggling in, and who do you need to have in your team to make sure that you're getting the best out of it? And for me, it's also just a reminder that you can crack on with things on your own, and you may get to the level you want to get to. But I don't know about you, but I know life's not forever. Like, having someone close to you die really makes you think, okay, life isn't forever. I'm in a hurry now. I wasted a fair few of my years just going through the motions and cruising, and I knew I had so much more potential. And so finding people that help you fast track that, it's so valuable in getting that level of happiness, fulfillment, and health that is going to take you forward to making sure you squeeze every ounce out of this thing we call life. Have an awesome day. I'll speak to you next time. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.